So the short introduction, after an important disclaimer. Polymetal is a leading gold and silver mining group with operations in Russia, Kazakhstan, and Armenia. We are the second largest producer in Russia, with premium listing on London Stock Exchange. We are FTSE 250 company, and we have 4 billion market cap. So the business was started in 1998 with a goal to bring into commercial production the Soviet era exploration results. So this year marks the company 20th anniversary. And in 20 years, Polymetal has transformed into a significant global producer with 1.5 million ounces of gold equivalent production, more than 20 million ounces of reserves, and one of the highest average reserve grades in the sector. So as some of you may already know, our major focus over past years has been on construction of Kyzyl, which is the largest untapped development project in the former Soviet Union. It has 7 million ounces of gold in reserves, over 20 years life of mine, of which first 10 years will be the open pit. And it's a very high-grade deposit, so the average grade is 7.7 grams per ton. So because of its high grade, Kyzyl turned out to be a capital-light project with good return on investment. So the project IRR is 33% at a gold price of $1,200. There is also an excellent exploration potential with more than 3 million ounces of additional resources. And today is a very special date for the company, and I'm very proud to announce that we have achieved a very significant and major milestone in our history. So yesterday we produced the first concentrate at Kyzyl, 1 month ahead of schedule. So the total capital expenditure for this project are expected to be below initial capital expenditure budget by approximately 3%. So this is how it looks now. It's a modern flotation plant. It's favorably located in a well-developed region in the eastern part of Kazakhstan with access to grid power and the qualified labor force. So although the ore is refractory, we have a lot of experience in dealing with exactly this type of ore. So we plan to produce gold concentrate on site, and then some part of concentrate will be sent for further processing to our existing pressure oxidation facility in Russia, in Amursk, and another part of concentrate will be sold to China, to Chinese off-takers. So this is how the plant looks inside, successfully commissioned yesterday. So the Kyzyl concentrator now enters the 3 months ramp-up period, after which it will it's expected to reach its nameplate capacity of 150,000 tons of ore, or it's approximately 1.8 million tons of ore per annum, and recoveries of 86%, so in October 2008. Mining activities have reached full design capacities. Something strange with this slide. There's supposed to be some errors showing the timeline, so that, never mind. So after full ramp up, Kyzyl is expected to produce more than 300,000 ounces of gold at all-in sustaining cash cost of just $500 and $550 per ounce. This is well below the company's average cash costs of $893 last year. So we expect this year that Kyzyl will produce 80,000 ounces of gold and start to deliver significant cash flows and net income contributions in the fourth quarter. So on this positive note, I will switch to the strategic part of the presentation. So Polymetal is strategically focused on the CIS region, the region which we know very well and that we believe has a lot of potential going forward. In fact, the CIS is one of the largest underexplored mining areas, and Russia has been increasing its production every year since 2010. So Polymetal's strategy is to ensure the growth of its business within the former Soviet Union and to continue to provide significant and stable dividend income to our shareholders. The company applies strong capital allocation principles. So we carefully select our project and give preference to high-grade, capital-light assets. So this strategy helps us to control costs, generate free cash flow through the cycle, maximize return on investment, as well as reduce project development risks. So of 1.3 billion free cash flow generated over the past 5 years, we paid out more than 1 billion of dividends. So it's also I think it's also worth mentioning that we've been maintaining the highest standards of corporate governance since our initial public offering in 2007. So we have a strong board of directors with majority of the board being independent. So this is our production guidance. Polymetal provides both near-term and long-term exposure to both near-term and long-term growth. We have a target to increase our production by 23% by 2023, a very nice combination of numbers. And what differentiates us from some other mining companies, we have already established a pipeline of high-quality projects. So once we ramp up Kazil this year and the expanded pressure oxidation facility, we will be in a position to finalize our decisions on 2 further investments, so namely the construction of Nezhda gold mine and the second pressure oxidation facility in Amursk. Nezhda. So Nezhda is Russia's 4th largest gold deposit, with 11 million ounces of gold resources, which include 2 million ounces of open pitable reserves at an average grade of 4 grams per ton, and additional 9 million ounces of underground resources. So the NPV of the open pit part of the deposit was estimated at $130 million, while economics of the underground mine is still to be valued, so we plan to present the results of an updated reserve estimate and the pre-feasibility study towards the end of this year. So this is the long section of the Nezhda deposit. So as you can see, the mineral resources were estimated only for the first ore zone, and the significant part of mineralized material is yet to be valued. Another important strategic consideration and growth project is our willingness to deepen our expertise in refractory gold processing by constructing the second POX plant for high carbon concentrates. So Polymetal possesses a strong and unique expertise in pressure oxidation as it has designed, constructed, and now successfully operates the Amursk pressure oxidation facility, the only operating autoclave in the former Soviet Union. So we are looking to double our capacities to become a large processing hub for refractory gold concentrates in the region. So we understand that the share of 3 million deposits is shrinking while the share of refractory assets is growing. We also understand that with our expertise in pressure oxidation, we have a significant competitive advantage. Apart from that, the environmental and sustainability considerations are important. So we are very well positioned and very interested to develop environmentally friendly green technologies such as POX for the growing refractory gold market. In addition to its strategic importance, the new POX will improve economics of refractory gold projects in our portfolio. So we expect it to provide a 4 or 5% increase in recoveries versus offtake to China and a significant cost economy. So we will present the results of the pre-feasibility study for this project and prepare it for the approval by the board in the 4th quarter this year. So with this chart, I would like to point out one more time that our focus is now shifting to new lower cost and higher grade assets. so something doesn't work. Okay. So we expect a positive impact on our costs and margins from new projects. I would also like to mention that we pay a lot of attention to sustainability in our company. So we have more than 12,000 employees. Our investments in local communities exceeded $30 million over the past 5 years, and we have received widespread recognition for our sustainability initiatives. So as an example, we were top ranked for environmental responsibility among Russian metals and mining companies by the World Wildlife Fund. Sustainalytics positioned Polymetal as an outperformer in the metals and mining industry, and we were awarded the highest score for corporate governance and anti-corruption in the FTSE4Good index. We are also open to new interesting initiatives in this area. So, and as example, most recently, we signed $80 million credit facility with ING Bank with the interest rate linked to our ESG score evaluated by Sustainalytics. To summarize our investment case, I would like to quickly run you through a couple of additional slides. So Polymetal operates a unique, high-quality asset portfolio with one of the highest reserve grades of 3.9 grams per ton. We know how to deliver on our promises and meet our production targets. We exceeded our production guidance in each year since the IPO, and this year we successfully started up Kazoo, our flagship project, ahead of schedule and below budget. We have relatively low costs, and despite last year we were hurt by a ruble appreciation, at the same time we were at a peak capital expenditure spent at Kazoo, we were able to generate free cash flow and we paid dividends. So we are focused on generating value to our shareholders. We provide exposure to growth, and we pay significant and stable dividends of 50% of our underlying net income. So we have one of the industry-leading dividend yields at the moment. And this is how we compare with some other mining companies which have a dividend policy in place. So over the past 5 years, we returned approximately $150 per ounce of gold production to our shareholders. And we still provide valuation upside. So to finish with the presentation, I would like to leave you with this slide, so which shows a few key metrics for London-listed mining companies. Thank you for your attention.